Hey, boys and girls, it's Chris Dunham here, and I'm with, Mike's not here right now because Mike's having some issues with his internet, but we figured, whoa, music's too loud. We figured Nate and I would at least kind of like pop on here and just say hello and do a little quick little, what's going on, while we're waiting for Mike to resolve his problems, which hopefully he does. So, this is the Chris and Mike Show. We are here with Nate Palmer. Nate is a really cool guy that I've known for, about almost a year now, maybe?
Yeah.
Is that possible, right? He's a personal trainer. He's all about fitness and nutrition and different things you can do to help make your body become the most physically fit body that you ever wanted. I follow him on Instagram. You should do as well. And your Instagram is $1 Million Body.
Yeah, _$1 Million Body, because there's someone, the $1 Million Body person has been off of Instagram since 2012 and won't answer my emails. So I'll just take the second best option. But if you search $1 Million Body, I'll probably be the first one to come up because I'm the most handsome.
There you go. You gotta love that. You gotta love that. So the cool thing about Nate too is he drops stories and he shares all the different things that he does personally. So you're kind of getting somebody who lives what he preaches, right? Which is cool because I've been working out off and on. I mean, consistently, I've been working out for the last 12 years to the point to where, aside from this last month or so with my neck stuff, it was anywhere from 5 to 8 times a week. When I was doing 75 hard bolt times, I was doing 15 to 17 workouts a week. Which newsflash, boys and girls, listen to your body, because I didn't listen to my body and didn't. I knew my foot hurt, Nate, but it took 3 doctors to diagnose it properly. So I had a stress fracture, my second metatarsal, and that completely threw me off my game. And I was still working out at Orange Theory at that time, and I was only doing nothing but upper body. So I'd go in with a boot on my foot and just do upper body. So legit, I counted reps one workout. It was like 3,800 reps just in the weight room.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, dude, I'm a beast.
Because you're only doing 30 minutes in the weight room.
But because I couldn't do the tread, the bike, or the rower, I spent 60 minutes in the weight room.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So I would do.
That's still too many, but
so I would do what they said to do, and then I started coming up with my own kind of core exercises, up body stuff, a lot of resistance training with TRX straps, things like that. So now we're in the whole world of workout stuff. So let's talk about someone who's just starting out. What would you recommend they do, say well, actually, let me back up a little, because some of the stuff I've watched with you, right, it's, you don't want to go, if you're doing cardio and weightlifting, you want to weight train first, correct?
Depends.
Okay, so why does
I love that answer because it's just so ambiguous and frustrating.
Okay. So what I've learned, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, because you're the workout guru here. You're the man with the knowledge and the power. I've seen that if you do the weight stuff before cardio, it helps. Is it not? I don't want to say creatine. What's the other thing?
ATP, fat, oxidative pathway.
I don't know what the hell it is now. I can't pull it out of my head.
I'll give you my quick 2-second blurb on that though.
Okay.
So if you want to lose weight, if you have 30 plus pounds to lose, you're like, I just need to get pounds off.
Okay.
Cardio first. And then weights.
Okay.
Because it's not as important to be pushing, like using most of your energy for the weights.
Okay.
You'll ramp your heart rate up. Your heart rate will stay elevated. You'll burn more calories. You lose more weight.
Okay.
If you're like under 30 pounds to go, you're trying to get cut.
Okay.
Then do weights first and then cardio. You're going to get a better bang for your buck by doing more weights and having the energy there.
Okay.
Plus, when you push weights early, you burn through your muscle glycogen.
Okay.
Is that what you're talking about?
I don't know what it was. Somebody was saying something to the fact that if you want to burn fat, it's better to do the weight part of it first for 20 to 30 minutes, and then go to your cardio, because then whatever your body's focused on with the recovering of the muscles, then all that's left when you do cardio is to burn the fat. Is that accurate?
Ish, yeah.
Okay,
close enough.
See, this is why I like Nate Palmer, ladies and gentlemen, because it's the straight shooter. There's no bullshit here. So back to our thing. My question I had. So for the first timer, it's that wants to lose, like you said, somebody that's just getting the working out, right, and they want to lose 30 pounds. Your recommendation is start with cardio and then build that to the weights.
Yeah, I think that's also like the easiest, like lowest barrier of entry. You know, like it's always easier to just slap on some shoes and go for a walk outside or throw a weight vest on, or go to the gym and just hop on a treadmill. Like, you don't have to know, like, I always think about it like golf, right? I'm a horrible golfer. I live on a golf course. I'm a horrible golfer, Chris.
Nice.
And like when I go out there and I'm like trying to like learn how to like do a chip shot or whatever. He's like, all right, now hips like this, now feet there, here,
yeah.
now hands here, and and I'm like, this is one move. It's one swing.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm asking people to do a dumbbell row and a lat pull down and a chest press and a rotation, a core exercise. There's now 500 moves I've asked you to learn, and somehow you're expected to be good at those right off the bat.
Yeah.
Like it's a labor of love to like learn all these pieces.
Sure.
So if you're not trying to like dive deep and start like figuring out, all the different exercises, walking, cardio, best bang for your buck that you can do, high ROI, minimal chance of injury. Okay. So start there. And then once you start building the habit, you would go 3, 4, 5 days a week of doing cardio. Now we can start filtering in some like weightlifting exercises. You already have the habit. You already have the block of time.
Okay.
You're already at the gym. So now we can kind of like play with that time you've created.
Okay. So let's back up a little bit. So let's talk about cardio walking. So what would be somebody's, I want to wake up tomorrow. I want to get in shape. So I am 30 pounds overweight. I'm like, Nate, I need some help. I want to lose 30 pounds. I want to, it's too late for my summer body. I want to be, Labor Day weekend body, man. So if I'm starting to just walk, what's my target? Is it a mile? Is it a mile and a half? Is it 2 miles? Is it kind of feel it out? Because the thing that I see a lot with when I was doing Orange Theory, right? The first of the year, fucking the gym would go nuts, right? All of a sudden you have everybody and their mothers in the gym, right? Everybody and their mothers going out. Every single time block during the day is packed. And then by mid-February, it's back to what it normally is, and it stays that way for the rest of the year.
Correct. Yeah.
So we don't want beginners to burn out. We don't want somebody who may have had, extensive workout knowledge 10, 15 years ago, and then all of a sudden, here we go again, I'm going to get back into the habit. More often than not, right? People burn themselves because they go too hard, right? Yeah. So let's kind of game plan. What are your 5 tips to tell somebody that's just starting to work out as far as the amount of cardio they do? What kind of sweat do they need to do on a daily basis? How many kind of calories do they need to eat? I know that's a hard one because everybody's body's different, but let's do like a 5-point game plan for the beginner that I want to get in shape, Nate. What's the best way to do that without, number one, burning myself out, without hurting myself, because a lot of people do that unintentionally, which is why I think what you said before, walking, low impact, and it still has the same results as running, correct?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to burn less calories, and you're going to increase your cardiovascular capacity to a lesser degree. But running is also costly in terms of recovery. You need to recover from running. Okay. Whereas walking is a recovery method. Right. So, like, if you're already training hard, or whatever, and you're like, man, I'm like feeling burnt out. Yeah. Walking will help repair and rebuild you. Okay. Whereas running will cost your body more in terms of like needing more recovery on the back end.
Okay. Yeah. So, like when Nikki and I do our things, we like to do a walk warm up. And then we'll run and then do a walk cool down.
Perfect.
Yeah. So I'm coming to you. Do you do online training?
Yep.
Okay. So let's talk about your online training and what that encompasses and what the person that wants to get in shape can expect from that.
Totally. So I actually am making a reel on this right now, but everyone's a little different, right?
Yeah.
I've had 3 client calls today, and they were all like, the first person wants to lose weight. So when I check in on them, I check in on their weight, and then then I go check in on their nutrition. Okay. And those are the 2 main things that we're focused on because those are the biggest like dominoes for them. Okay. Second person is trying to increase their vertical jump and wants to build a bigger bench press. So I'm going in and I'm checking on how they did on their last form of their jump exercises, what their front squat max was last workout. And how they've been doing on their chest presses. And then the third person is working on healthy habits. And so I'm seeing, did they get a gallon of water in? Are they tracking their macros? Did they practice the meditation that they said they wanted to do? So like everyone's a little bit different in terms of like the online coaching piece.
Absolutely.
But if you're coming in for the first time and you're like, I just want to lose some weight. Yeah. I'd probably say, let's do an hour of walking every single day. And if you want to do 30 minutes in the morning and split it up over the rest of the day, great. If you want to do an hour all at once, that's great. Fit in an hour because that's going to give you like a pretty decent sized calorie burn. It's going to help you feel really good. And then also, I think the thing that people don't talk about is when you walk for an hour, if you take supplements, you go to the gym, you do these things, you start creating this identity piece. Okay. You start changing who you believe you are. And that's more important to me than if you did 75 hard or you hit your workout or you crushed a 21-day challenge. Right,
because that's going to start building your self-esteem.
100%.
And as you build your self-esteem, you start changing how you feel when you look in the mirror. Mm-hmm. So then you're going to start walking and talking with more confidence and more pride in yourself and what you're accomplishing, as opposed to, woe is me, I got to get up and walk for an hour.
Yeah. And you'll never act outside of your identity for an extended period of time.
Dude, that's a really cool concept, man. I dig that.
Yeah. But like, think about like your life, right? You've been working
Yeah.
out. So you said 12 years. You've been doing 5+ workouts a week for decades.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you're just a person who works out. Like,
Yeah.
if I told you, hey, Chris, you need to hit your workout, you'd be like, yeah. Obviously.
Right.
Like, it's not a thing for you anymore because it's just a part of who you are and what you do on a regular basis to not only do your physical health, but also your mental health, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Yeah. And see, that was the big thing with the boot, and then being off like we've been probably since the end of February, like we talked before we went live. Mental health to me is a huge thing. So when I was in the boot for 8 months, because I'm a over 20-year recovering alcoholic, running and working out became my new addiction, right? So the running helps me. As weird as it sounds, and I've had this conversation before with people, running to me is meditation. And they're like, well, how can you meditate when you run? Because I do, because I have music in, and I'm just, anything that's going on in my day and in my head, whether it's the first run in the morning, or if I ran at night, it just goes away. I purge it by running. And the faster I run or the harder I push myself in running, it purges that. So to me, that's kind of a meditation. Now I understand the true meditation, and I've done that, totally done that, and had experience with that. There's an app I used for years. I forget what it's called now. But, it was like $29 a month, and it was badass. So
Headspace?
Yes. So that's a great app for you boys and girls if you want to know how to start meditating. It's called Headspace, and it's really not that expensive. You have challenges like if you do stuff like I do Duolingo learning Spanish. I'm like 376 days or 676 days.
Let's go.
Right? But Headspace is the same concept. So it prompts you. You can do 5, 10, 15, 20-minute meditations per day. It's a really simple app to use. It guides you through it. So I never really meditated before when I started that. So once I started that after coming back from Wake Up Warrior, it's like, okay, this is one of our things, body, being, balance, and business. So you focus on your body. It's a meditation. It's the workout. You get your sweat in, 45 minutes of sweat every day. Balance is your family life. You know, what does that look like? Let's make sure it's all in balance. Being is your spirituality, regardless of what that is. If Mike was on here, we would be talking about that, the fact that, you know, some people need to go to church every Sunday. Some people believe in just a higher power. Some people don't need religion to function, you know, that kind of concept. But so it's whatever your being is, whether it's Buddhism, Christianity, Catholicism, Mormon, it doesn't matter. It's just your personal relationship with your, you know, being, if you will. And then business is everything. Those three things are in check, then your business is going to rock, because then you're waking up right mindset, you're accomplishing those goals. And so that's when I started meditating, and it was a great thing for me to do because I had never done it before. So it helped kind of get me grounded and centered, and it was able to kind of just build on everything else in life. So,
Well, I agree with you. I think running's meditation. I think training can be meditation. I think
Sure.
walks can be meditation. I consider jiu-jitsu meditation because you literally can't be focused on anything else besides where you are in the current moment.
Okay.
And I think that's what meditation is, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'll tell people sometimes just like, hey, can you clench your butt cheeks for a second? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, now unclench them. I'm like, okay, clench them again.
Yeah.
All right, now unclench them. You just meditated. Congratulations. You were focused in on one thing, you know? Or it can be as simple as like staring at this pen and just like thinking about the tip of this pen, you know? Like,
yeah.
meditation is not like it's not a one size fits all. It's like wherever you're at.
Yeah.
How do you live in the moment?
Sure.
You know,
That's
and all
a
the people
good-
who all the
yeah.
time are like, I'm not good at meditating. I'm always having thoughts. And you're like, that's not the point of meditation is not to not have thoughts.
Right.
It's just to notice the thoughts you're having.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just to be, I mean, it's not to sound cheesy. It's to be one with yourself.
Just to be, yeah. I feel like just like be fully present. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's so hard when it's like, well, I got this and I have my emails open, I have these tabs.
Yeah.
And like, you know, there's a million things occupying our mental space at any moment. The times of the day when you can find like one thing that you're 100% focused in on, rare.
Yeah. Yeah. So earlier in our little conversation here, you mentioned blue light. Oh, look, I see Mike coming on. You mentioned something about blue light, Mike, Nate, and Mike. We're in the middle of a thing talking about blue light. So, Mike went away. So
I'm going to miss him.
He'll come back. So when you do blue light is our tablets, our phones, right? You want to get away from all that.
Yeah, as much
Correct.
as possible, especially in the PM.
Okay.
Because blue light is like an artificial sun, so it decreases our melatonin production.
Oh.
Yeah, and it can actually it'll mess with your deep sleep. So if you ever have like an Oura Ring or a Whoop strap or something like that can actually measure your sleep and track your data, try doing an hour with no TV, tablets, phones, or whatever before bed, and see how it stacks up to the nights when you do watch TV before bed. And I guarantee you, your deep sleep will increase.
Yeah, see, you and I had that conversation quite a bit because I saw something you posted on Instagram on a reel or a story about sleeping. And I've never been a really good sleeper in my entire life. I don't know why. So I started sharing with you my Garmin app as how it registered my sleep. And I rarely have deep sleep. I rarely have REM sleep.
That was crazy. I was like, did you just not cut it? Did you not paste it in there? Like, I don't get that.
I don't either. So, but see, now I learned something from talking to you right here. The fact that I need to cut all the blue light out, and I'm going to start doing that in an hour before bed. Nikki and I aren't big TV watchers, so like usually the TV doesn't go on until about 7:00 at night. Like last night, we turned it on until like 7:30. We watched the Severance finale, and then
I watched Severance last night, but I didn't watch the finale.
Right, and then I put on Terminator because it just dropped on thing, and then I kind of zoned out and just messed my phone and shit, and then she'll go to sleep at 9 and 9:30 or so. Then I kind of go in there at 10 just so she can fall asleep. But I got the blue light thing going on, so I'm going to incorporate that and see what change that does with my sleep, and I'll share that with you.
I saw something interesting the other day talking about porn also, and how looking at porn can be more detrimental. Like not only detrimental in terms of like looking at porn and like changing the way your sexuality is wired, but like only becoming aroused with blue light directly into your eyeballs can change the way your brain functions and your arousal mechanisms.
That's crazy. See, I'm not. Nobody ever believes this, but I'm not into porn. I've never been into porn. I think it stems from the fact that when I was a kid, my brother was, and this is a true story. He left the VCR tape. We only had VCR in our house, right?
Oh no!
It was in my mom's room. Okay, and he actually left the VCR tape in my mom's room. And I had got home from school, and again, we had two TVs, but that was a TV that had the VCR, and that was a TV that had cable, right? So we would sit on the floor, basically at the foot of her bed. We'd sit up against the back of her bed, and that's where we'd watch like baseball and stuff, because cable back then was 60 channels, right? So I had come home from school or something, and I was like, I was going to watch a movie or something. So I tried to put it in. There was tape in, so I took it out and stuck it on top of the VCR. Didn't really look at it, and then put whatever I was watching, which could have been something, I don't know, some 80s shit, Back to the Future, early 80s stuff, right? Watched that for whatever length I watched, and then I pulled it out, stuck it in my case, and threw it in my room and went to do what I did. Well, she got home, she lost her shit, right? And then I was like, I have no idea what she's talking about. I was in there, I pulled it out, and then she laid into my brother and, all that kind of shit. But I think that was such a traumatic moment watching him get just destroyed for that I'm not going to say I've never watched it, because everybody's watched it at some point in time in life, because back in our day, right, porn was Playboy, right? Or porn was Penthouse, because you didn't have this. But it wasn't anything that I like, this is the greatest thing ever, because it's kind of like strip clubs, and Mike and I have talked about this, and even Nikki and I have talked about it. Like, before we got married, I would go to strip clubs, because you just do. But to me, I was like, I'm not giving this chick $100 to go home by myself. It doesn't make sense. And I had a buddy.
The math's not math.
No. And I had a buddy who was a bouncer at a strip club in when we were seniors in high school. So I'd go pick him up every now and then. So I kind of got acclimated and to the other dancers as a friend thing. Because I knew, that's his buddy, so we're going to leave him alone. So it would they'd come sit next to me. We'd just, bullshit talk. But I would see how they approached the guys, and how it all to them was his money. It's like, suit guy. All of a sudden, 3 girls flock on the suit guy. Wears t-shirt and jeans, maybe 1 or 2. So I started realizing that's a game. It's all business. There's no end game for the male. Because you're not going home with the stripper boys and girls. I don't care what you think. No matter how much money you throw at her, you're not going home with her. So I just never got into porn, because that just wasn't my thing. So I don't get that concept of it at all. But the blue light thing, which you said, kind of just like, okay, that makes sense. So I'm gonna incorporate that, and instead of maybe later to turn on the TV, turn on earlier and turn it off earlier, and we can just hang out for an hour and chat and shit and
I want to talk about porn more.
Okay, talk about porn more, Nate.
All right. I'm right there with you. I'm not into it. It's not
Okay.
like not my thing, but I think that like I've talked to clients about this before where like they are like, well, I have that and that's my side thing. And like, I don't want to touch that with
Right.
working with you. And I was like,
Right.
well, sure. But how you do one thing, I believe, is how you do everything. And
Agreed.
if your proclivity is to always go for a cheap dopamine hit, whether that's
Is
porn,
that what that does? Explain the dopamine hit, because not everybody's going to understand this stuff.
okay, so like if you're just looking for like the easiest way to feel pleasure,
Okay.
what's the simplest path right now for me to feel good? You know, you're bored, you're stressed, you're tired, you have something going on in your life, and rather than addressing that, you look towards something else to make yourself feel better.
I would just
a
go
lot of times
attack
that ends up being food for people.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
we're eating some bullshit. We're having McDonald's. We're eating some sugar because it makes me feel good, and that's how we end up with people who have these food addictions because they've
Okay.
not dealt with this emotional piece and sat with being uncomfortable. Porn is the exact same. It is
Okay.
a cheap dopamine hit that gives you a little bit of pleasure in the moment, but is ultimately unsatisfying because it's not the real thing, right?
Yeah.
Same as McDonald's hamburger. McDonald's
Yeah.
hamburgers and fries were genetically, or like not genetically, but like modified in a lab,
Right.
with one specific goal, and the goal is for you to be able to eat it in less than 2 bites.
Wow.
When you put a hamburger
No
or fries
shit.
in your mouth, they want you to be able to chew once and swallow. That's the goal. Because then when it hits your stomach, you take a long time to actually feel that satiation effect. So when you finish it, you're like, I'm still a little hungry. I'm gonna get another thing. So the goal is not to fill you up. It's to not satisfy you. Porn is the same way.
Weird, man.
And so when we continually reinforce these patterns of leaning into the easy thing,
Okay.
doing the cheap thing,
Okay.
then that's when I start dealing with people like men and women, guys who have amazing careers, great families, but cannot get their health in order because they have conditioned themselves over the last 2, 3, 4 decades to go for the cheap, the easy, the quick,
Gotcha.
rather than holding out for something actually valuable.
Okay. That's a trip, man.
So I have a lot of energy around that just
So-
because I think that choosing to do hard things
Right.
is more important than just weightlifting or like giving up something for Lent. You know, like
Right.
choosing fucking hard stuff is a lifestyle choice that changes your brain, increases your testosterone, and increases your likelihood to be a good man.
Okay, so this is intriguing to me because on one set, if people look at you from the outside in, they're seeing this guy who's physically fit. He's all about nutrition and health and sleep and the non-drug ways, right? To weaponize your body, let's say, right?
Turn your body into an unfair advantage, baby. Let's go.
There you go. So the cool thing, if you can catch this, boys and girls, and by the way, we're in 19 countries, so Nate's not just going to teach you how to work out. He's not just going to teach you how to eat. He's not just going to teach you what better way to sleep. He's going to help you change your mindset, I'm hearing. You're going to help somebody completely take whatever chaos is in their lives and turn around into this hyper-focused individual who is, like you just said, just weaponized. And here's my body, and here's how I'm going to function, and I'm going to function from top to bottom on all cylinders in a healthy, proactive way, getting the garbage out. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a guru. I'm not going to stand over here and tell you I'm
Right,
going
well,
to teach you and change your life, but
yeah.
like these are my personal philosophies and I reflect them in my coaching programs.
Okay.
But I mean, and if people are ready for them, we have those conversations and I ask those hard questions.
Yeah.
And if people aren't ready for them, we stay right in my lane. We stay talking about carbs, you know?
Okay. But I mean, the reason why I bring that up, like Orange Theory, okay, and I go back to that because I was there for so long. You have trainers there, and you're there 53 to 56 minutes with a trainer, right? So unless you go every single day like I did, you know what I mean? And I went to 2 studios 8 times a week in the last year of it, right? But I was ripped, dude. I legit was, and Nikki didn't like it.
Still are.
I was down a little bit.
For the record, folks, he's still ripped.
Yeah, I'm not as core ripped as I feel I should be, but again, that just goes back to because I legit tailored off because of got sick and then the neck and all that kind of jazz. But anyway, this is not about me. This is about Nate. But I like the fact that you are there as a coach, not just a trainer. Because to me, a trainer is somebody like Orange Theory. Oh, I'm going to train you. This is how you do the row thing. This is how you do the tread workout. This is how you do the barbells and the TR straps and this and that. And these are the core. And then you leave and you're left on your own. Now that company did have different things throughout the year where you could do a weight loss challenge or you gain muscle mass challenge and transformation challenge where you lose weight, things like that. But in all the years I was doing that, because they're just trainers and not coaches, okay, and this is different in my head, there was someone who would always crush the transformation challenge. This is somebody I knew, okay, one of the ones I went to. I think for 3 years in a row, this person either won it or was in the top 2 or 3, okay? But then within maybe, I don't know, 2-3 months, exactly, back to where they started. So there was nothing consistent about it, because you have this prize. If you can do this for this amount of time, you're going to win this. Woo! It's the gratification thing, right? It's like, I have something I'm going for. But to me, it was false gratification, because they weren't doing it for themselves. They were doing it for the shiny prize. And the shiny prize worked for this amount of time, kind of like The Biggest Loser, right? Biggest Loser, great show. My wife loved that.
100% recidivism rate in Biggest Loser.
Yes. That's the difference between, that I think anyway, and you can agree or disagree. A trainer is there to help you. Okay, here's your hour. I'm going to train you. A coach is there. Okay, Chris, what time did you wake up? Did you do your meditation? Did you do your walk? What did you have for breakfast? Are you getting? See, I'm terrible at macros and shit. So I think we're gonna get a little bit more in depth here, Nate, off air and with lifestyle with Nikki and I, because I don't track that shit. But I watch you, and I've watched you long enough. Now I'm started poking at you to come on the show, because I wanted to talk about this stuff and get it out there for the world. But that's what I think the difference is between, and I know ADHD
100%
is the coach and a trainer, right?
So I started off as a personal trainer in 2008, and I'm a great personal trainer. I did that full time until 2015.
Okay.
And like I was like the number one trainer at this gym with 150 different trainers in Seattle. It was like, it was an amazing gym, amazing location.
Right on.
And I thought that I would be able to take that skill set and transfer that to online coaching. And I fucking sucked at it for the first few years.
Right.
So I went full time. My wife and I sold all of our stuff, quit our jobs, and I launched an online business that we traveled the world for about 13 months in 2015.
Cool.
And I was basically just shipping off workouts and being like, do your workouts. And people were being like, nah. And I was like, why not? Like, I don't get it. Because like I'd send you a workout, Chris, and you would do your workout.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
It's part of your life. Yeah. So like I would get like 10% of people doing everything I asked them to, and then 90% of people not doing it. And so I was like, well, what am I missing? So that's when I dove in really heavy into nutrition, started studying all about that. And I was like, nutrition, that's the key. That's how people are going to get results.
Right.
My coaching got better. My apps got better. I started doing a lot of like different things, and I started seeing people getting better results from a physical perspective. They're losing more fat, they're gaining more muscle, they're looking better. I was like, got it, nailed this, I'm amazing. But then I noticed exactly what you're talking about. People would do it for 3 months, 4 months, and then they'd rebound, gain that weight back.
Yeah.
And what I realized was we weren't attacking the mindset and the identity.
Okay.
And in my opinion, there's only 2 ways to change your identity. Number one is to have like a life-changing moment. You go to a Tony Robbins event, you go to the doctor, he's like, you have cancer.
Right.
You go to a restaurant, you're eating a salad, and Margot Robbie comes in and like touches your cheek and is like, I love that salad. And you're like, I'm a salad guy now. But you can't manufacture life-changing moments. The only other way that you can manufacture this is through consistent small behaviors repeated daily until they become a part of your identity, which is why I think that 1% better message is really important to me. So now what I do is like, I feel like after it's been 10 years now, I've been doing online coaching, and I'm finally in the last 2 years feeling very, very confident, very happy with the program, because I feel like I've actually stepped into a place where we are aligning lifestyle, environment, stressors, mindset, and identity around nutrition and fitness, which are important pieces. But until we get those things mastered, you're never going to have long-term transformation.
No,
and like you said, you have that one person, they're really great at transformations. They are able to change their body so fast, and that's amazing for them. But they get about 3 of those. Yep. Once you do that 3 times, now your metabolism's kind of fucked.
Oh, absolutely. Right.
And now it's going to be harder and harder and harder and harder to do it, because your metabolism wants to go back to your 240-pound self.
Yeah.
It's like, that's our set point. That's where we live. The body loves homeostasis. It's not trying to get you lean. It's trying to keep you alive.
Yeah.
So I think that if you can, don't do that yo-yo thing. If you're gonna lose it, and you're going to gain it again, just don't even lose it.
Right.
It's better to just stay fat than to lose it and gain it.
Right.
Facts.
So since you brought up obesity, right? The Ozempic trend, right? The little you take the shot, and
I like the way you said that. Ozempic.
Yeah, Ozempic. The Ozempic trend. Okay. So to me, that's there's going to be harmful effects that come out, 20 years from now, right? Because here's how I look at it, right?
20 months from now, bro.
Right.
It's crazy.
So in 2014, before I had my neck surgery, okay, let's even back up even further. When I stopped drinking, I was about 240 pounds, okay?
Okay.
It took about a year and a half, 2 years, that initial working out. This was before the neck started doing its thing. So 2005, I stopped drinking. So 2007, 8, I was in pretty good shape, and then because I transferred the addiction there, and then the neck started fucking with me. So when I started, before I went into surgery for my neck, I was 211 pounds. So I'd gone back up, right? Once I was released, it was in July, I think, of 2014. So then I went into Orange Theory and hit it. I mean, I hit it fucking hard because, number one, I discovered isogenics. So Nikki and I did the isogenics thing. I did the cleanses, I did the shakes, and I hyper-focused. I'm that guy because of my addictive personality. When I see something works, it's tunnel vision. Mm-hmm. So legit, Nate, I was isogenics probably for 5-6 years, like legit, because it worked. I went from 211 to 166 pounds from October is when we discovered isogenics to February. But I was skinny. I didn't have muscle. I didn't have bulk on me at all. So that's where that was my foundation, right, in 2015, January. And then I started building the muscle and stuff. And then we started running more. And because we were running half marathons, we probably did 60, 70 half marathons, we've decided. That's a lot more of lean and fit because it was hard to maintain the muscle mass. So then...
Not a lot of jacked marathon runners out there.
Correct. So then I started doing more weights with Nikki Like because then there's some muscle on me, there's bulk on me, there's definition with the back and the shoulders and the arms and stuff like that. So and then I kind of find a happy medium. Okay, I can do all this weight training and I can still be lean and fit-ish and still be able to run. So when I hurt my foot, I legit was what I thought I was in my height of. I was going for an hour and 45 minutes half marathon, and I did 148. At the State 48, the inaugural State 48, and then from that point on, we did the Vegas half, which 5-mile mark. I put my foot down. I'm like, oh, fuck me. Runners being runners. What did I do, Nate? I kept running. And I finished the thing in less than 2 hours, and every single plant with the right foot, ow, 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 ow. I think Mike's back, ow, ow. So it was one of those things where I didn't listen to my body, and because of that, it kept causing more damage, and doctors weren't listening to me, so they weren't diagnosing it properly. So, there it is. And hey, Mike Michaels, is that you?
I might be here. Can you hear
Welcome
me?
to your show.
Huh? We can hear
I'll
you.
hang in there as long as I can.
Right
It didn't
on.
work the last time.
So you're on a hot spot?
Yes. A very unstable one,
Okay.
apparently.
So okay, so Nate and I have been talking about a half an hour. We've been talking about fitness because I'm one of those fitness nuts. So he's been sharing his different methods, and we've talked about the difference of coaches and training. Nate's more of a coach, not a trainer. He was a trainer for many years, but now he's evolved to where it's if you went to Nate and said, hey, I want to get in shape, Nate's going to talk to you about all aspects of your life, like your mind, your body.
It's going to be so annoying. You're not going to like it.
Right, your nutrition, everything.
You're like,
But
we talk about bench press, I'm going to be like, what's your relationship with your wife like?
Right.
I do that shit all the time to guys.
But that's the thing.
How
That's
good of a
what you
dad
want.
are you? Yeah.
Yes, but that's what you want. You want somebody who is going to coach your life, not just your body.
Absolutely.
Because you want the whole thing. You get one body. Mike and I have talked about this before. We're all terminally ill. Every single one of us. Yeah. Every day you wake up, you're one step closer to death.
100% fatality rate in life.
Exactly. So why not take care of the only body you have to the best that you can? Now, Mike and I kind of have a similar situation. Mike was in a car accident many years ago, and his neck's all fucked up too. So his mobility and stuff is different than mine is as far as what he can and can't do. So there's that. And Mike's not as crazy insane about fitness like I am, but Mike and I have known each other since '93. We were in one of the greatest rock and roll bands that Arizona's ever seen in the early '90s.
That part's a true
he's
story.
the guitar player. I was the lead singer. It is a true story. And we opened for Marshall Tucker Band, Nate, which I didn't at the time. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Now it's like, holy shit, man! We opened for the Marshall Tucker Band. That's so fucking cool.
Are you guys on Spotify? Can I look it up?
Nemesis was before all the stuff. Unfortunately,
You didn't go back retroactively, add it in for the fans.
We have a plan to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
We do. Yeah. There's there's a method behind this madness of this podcast and how it came about and why it came about and why we're doing what we're doing. And definitely a big part of that is getting back to re-recording some of our original songs because they would still be relevant today. The one you heard when we started the show, that was our song "Free Man."
Oh, that was dope.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
So anyway, so Mike, you've missed. And
Real
again,
quick,
I'm sorry, but
you guys kind of keep going the
ahead.
way you were going because my connection is super unstable. And I just want to hear what you guys were talking about. I won't interject too much because I can see I'm only 3% uploaded, so there's probably a big delay too. I'm just glad I got to meet you. So
Gotcha.
I just wanted to say, hi, Nate. It's a pleasure to meet you. Hopefully we can do this again under better circumstances. But Chris said you guys were vibing pretty good, and I didn't want to ruin that. So I'm just kind of here to listen.
Yeah.
So
You're
keep
not.
going.
No, and I'm also extremely unstable right now. But it's not my connection. It's just mostly my brain.
Yeah, right. So just kind of some of the stuff that we were talking about, so you can kind of be brought up to speed. We're talking about again, the working out and to me working out. Oh my God, I went backwards. A coach is a coach for the entire embodiment of the human. A trainer is a trainer that's just trying to get you, okay, you want to lose 10 pounds? Okay, we're going to work on that. You want to gain 15 pounds of muscle? Okay, you're going to work on that. What Nate does, and he's been doing it for how long?
So I've been a personal trainer in the physical fitness space since 2008, but I've only been online coaching since 2015 and only doing it well for about the last 3 or 4 years.
Right. But you have a long resume.
Yeah, that's quite a long
being
time.
in the health. Right.
Yeah.
Of being in the health / fitness industry.
But I feel like honestly, it's kind of plays into my philosophy in terms of getting results, no matter what, whether it's business with your body, whatever, is if you can't lose if you don't quit.
Right.
And I feel like that's the thing that people get wrong is that they're like, oh, I screwed up. It's February and I didn't do my New Year's resolutions. Well, it's like, bitch, like if it was that important for you, just go back to it.
Right.
You can't lose if you don't quit. You just got to keep working on these things. Like I've had, like that's a long time in fitness, right? You want to hear about my failed businesses? You want to hear about all the 7 different things that I've done incorrectly with like wasting time and thousands of dollars on this stuff? Like I'd love to share like how much of a failure I actually am.
But that's the thing though. Everybody fails, man. You're only successful because you keep trying. It's not a matter of how many times you fall down. It's how many times you get back up.
And I wish people had that same mentality when it came to their physical health. But some people are just like, it didn't work for me. And you're like, well, what else did you try?
Right. Yeah.
Go back to it.
Yeah. One of the things that Nate and I talked about, Mike, and Nate Palmer, the $1 Million Body guy. You can find him on Instagram at _$1 Million Body.
Yes. Now I know who he is
Facebook,
because he likes a lot of our stuff on our podcast page. So now I put a face with the heart that goes next to a lot of the stuff on our Instagram page. I recognize that logo on your shirt. That's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And one of the things we talked about with Orange Theory is when they're trainers. So they're all about training and getting you're hitting your fitness goals. Well, Nate is a coach. And the experience he has as a trainer, and because of all the businesses he's had that have failed, which are probably tied to fitness in some way, shape, and form.
Yep.
Okay. So, but that's the thing. You want somebody who's been there, done that. Oh, I fucked it up. Like in my world, real estate, right? I sell houses, been selling houses 25 years. Well, the market crashed in 2006, 7, and 8. I crashed with it. So who better to talk to about rebuilding your credit, rebuilding your life, rebuilding your ability to purchase real estate than somebody who's had the bankruptcy, the foreclosure, the repo, lost everything, woke up one day that had a $300,000 a year income, boom, 40 grand, fuck you. You're broke. Your life is over.
Yep.
That is a monumental mind fuck. You want to talk about a demasculating moment in a man's life? Because what are fathers looked at in society? I'm the one that brings the money. I'm the one that feeds the kids. I'm the one that pays for the clothes. I'm the one that pays the mortgage. I'm the one that's grinding day after day after day after day. It's the father when you have the relationship, you have a marriage, because when it's single parent it's different. But the stress that puts on the man is unbelievable. So the fact that if you're ignoring the fact that you need to weaponize your body both mentally and physically, you're missing out. And Nate is one of those guys that can take you from a whole aura of things because he's been there, done that, and he can come with a custom plan for you to coach you and your life and help you achieve your goals and just say, okay, Chris, you want to bench 250? This is how we do it. You want to bench 400? This is how we do it. I'd rather have a whole coach thing. Let's build you up as a human and a soul and get checks on all the boxes, body, being, balance, and business, than just your body.
Agreed. And also, I don't know how to bench 400 pounds. I've never done that before. So.
I don't either. I was just, when I said 250, I was like, is that not enough? Because true story, there was a day at EOS when Nikki and I went to work out, and I had 145 pounds on the bar, and I did like, the warm-up 10 reps, and I was like, I'll just leave it there, do 10 more reps. I told Mike this story. I ended up doing 100 reps.
With 145?
Yeah, so I would
That's
do
a lot.
But see, this is how stupid I was, Nate. I would do 10 reps with the bench, and then I would do dumbbell stuff while Nikki was doing her sets, and then I would do 10 more reps, and then do dumbbell stuff, and then 10 more reps, 10 more reps.
That's that German volume training.
Oh, is that what that's called?
Yeah, 10 by 10.
Okay, so
they love a 4-second negative though, which is just like unbearable.
Oh, fuck!
It's disgusting. Yeah.
So when I got to,
if you survive, you gain a lot of muscle, but most people die.
Yeah. So when I got to 100. I was on the bench. I'm like, let's see if I can go 110, and I couldn't fucking move the bar. It wasn't moving. Like it was not. She thought I was just you're just nuts. And then,
how was that chest feel the next day?
It felt sore. Oh, it felt sore. Yeah,
super strange.
It felt sore.
I guess we'll never know why that happened.
Right? But so that's just me challenging myself, because that was right after I left Orange Theory, and it's like, okay, let's see what barriers I have in the weight room.
Okay, but here's the thing about that. Like, yes, that's objectively stupid, and you probably shouldn't be benching. Like, there's no reason to ever bench for 100 reps. No. But I love the idea of just like going after hard stuff. Mm-hmm. Like even just arbitrary hard stuff. Like I'm just going to go run for an hour today.
Sure.
If you're not a runner, that's stupid, and you shouldn't do that. You should warm up and get progressively better. But right. I love the idea of just being like, I'm going to do something hard right now.
Yeah.
And I think that like that is missing. We were talking about this a lot earlier, Mike, with people who are looking for the quick fix, the magic bullet, the easy, sweet thing that they can just eat and feel a little bit better.
Yep.
Not enough people are prioritizing those monumental accomplishments, the thing that actually take time, energy, effort, and give you that really good feeling, that really proud outcome. Because it's just so easy to just pick up your phone and scroll Instagram and get a couple quick dopamine hits off your TikTok.
Exactly.
Or, roll through fast food and get a burger, and now you feel better. And now you don't have to worry about how your boss made you feel as you were leaving your job. You can just let that go, Right. So I do think that there's a lot to be said for choosing hard. One of my shirts, I love making shirts. That's like my favorite part of my job. If no one's asked me to do it, by the way, I just keep doing it for myself.
Yeah.
But I like it says, comfort is the slow death, choose hard. And I think that there's a lot of benefit to doing what you said. It's just being like, I'm going to do 100 reps with 145 pounds. Why? No idea, but I'm going for it. Fucking send it.
Right. And I did it. And it was cool. It's kind of like when I started doing my core challenge. Like, I want to see how long I can hold core. It started at Orange Theory when I was in the boot, because it's like, okay, how long can I hold a core? So I got to 5 minutes at Orange Theory, and then when I started going to EOS, it's like, okay, so before the workout even start, and I'm the guy with core like this. I would put my arms straight. So I'd go in, and I'd put my headphones on. I'd put my timer down so I couldn't see it, but I could. And I'm like, I'm going to go for 6 minutes today. And then somebody told me the elbow one is harder, so I would start rotating every minute. A minute like this, a minute like this, a minute like this, a minute like this. And I got to my best was 9 minutes, 24 seconds.
That's amazing.
Right. And I was fucking 54 years old doing a 9-minute 50 or 24-second core. And so then Mike and I did a show. We looked at the core average in the world. If you can hold a 3-minute core, you're like really right. Like that's the upper echelon of the world. Mm-hmm. And I think that's amazing. We looked at Bruce Lee. What was Bruce Lee's? It was some insane fucking length of time Bruce Lee held the core. It was just
I can't remember. But it was
would
long.
do shit like this, where just these 3 fingers and shit. It's like, fuck you, Bruce, and on his thumbs, it just.
Did you ever try his exercise, the core exercise that he invented called dragon flags?
No.
They're nice. They're really challenging. But basically it's like, you ever do a leg lift with a hip press?
Yes.
So you do that, but you don't do it in 2 moves. You go up as a single unit, rotating at the fulcrum of your shoulders.
Okay.
So you're holding something behind you. You lift your entire body up in a straight line, and then you lower it back down.
Wow.
Easiest way to start is to do the leg lift, hip press up, and then come down to about 45s and try to just do the top half as you build up. But that's a insane exercise. Probably one of the top 2 hardest ab exercises in the entire world.
Right on.
That's crazy.
All right, I'm gonna skip for a second. I gotta let the dog out. Mike, you talk to Nate.
Do you have a delay on me?
I'm not gonna lie to you, Mike. You are coming through super choppy. I can barely hear you.
that's why I told Chris I wasn't talking much, because I can see how slow it's uploading over here.
Yeah, that's frustrating.
Yeah,
That goddamn AOL dial-up, huh?
That's kind of what I feel like right now. It feels like going back to about 1995, especially when I have a fiber optic connection sitting right in front of me that doesn't work right now.
I got about none of that. Sorry, man.
It's all good.
Where are you right now? Where are you located?
Illinois. Central Illinois.
I got nothing, man. I'm sorry.
It's all
good.
Good.
Illinois. I caught Illinois at the end.
Oh, there you go.
It's like nothing, and then all of a sudden I get all of your words in like half a second.
Yeah, that's definitely the uploading.
Perfect. How many shows have you done? The Chris and Mike show?
87.
Very cool. When did you start this?
October of 23.
Nice. Cool. What was the goal, if you don't mind me asking? Was it just to like hang out, talk some shit with some friends? Is there a business side to this? How's it work?
Both. I would say both. You know, eventually try and monetize it on some level. But mostly it was just to meet cool people like yourself. You know, I admire anybody that's trying to better themselves and live the life that they feel like they deserve, right?
100%.
Versus working.
I love the podcasting for that.
Yeah, versus working like a 9-to-5 job that you hate every day. You know, you're striving for something that makes you happy and money at the same time.
Yeah. I'm so blessed to be able to do that too, though. That's like, I'm just like every day I wake up and I'm just so grateful for the fact that I get to kind of set my own schedule, work with people that I like working with. You know, I get to work in a fitness, you know, no one's telling me when I can and can't take lunch breaks, you know, like, and some days, you know, I work 14 hours to avoid working 8 hours for somebody else. But, you know, some days I take Fridays off, you know, that's great. Life's amazing.
So you don't have to try and hear me. Tell me about those failed businesses.
All right. Yeah. So when I was, first business I ever started on my own, I was working as a trainer in Seattle. And Seattle's like a big tech hub. So I knew a lot of people who were in startups and different like avenues like that. And I was like, I want to create workouts. I love programming. I love writing workouts for people. Like that's like my favorite thing is like creating and crafting these workouts that are like unique and different, but get you warmed up and give you a good result without beating you up. I feel like a lot of times people just are like, I'm going to go do workouts. I'm going to do bent over rows and RDLs and squats in the same workout. And I'm like, please don't do that. So I love writing workouts. So I was like, I'm going to write workouts and I'm going to sell them for $1 each. And I'm going to be like the Apple iTunes store of workouts. Awesome. Where you can just go and be like, all right, back blaster. And you can buy the black blaster workout or whatever, or buy the whole pack for $9.99 or something like that. So it's called Grab and Go Workout. And I got my logo design and I reached out to this guy and he built me a website. Chris, we're talking about my first failed business called Grab and Go Workout.
Right on.
And the logo was a guy running, right? Okay. And it had an arrow that was going out between his legs, just looking like this man is just rocking a 3-foot erection.
Look at penis.
And I didn't realize it until after I'd put everything up and went live with it. I probably wrote like 150 workouts just for this business. I put them all into Word documents. I PDF'd them all.
Oh. Yeah.
And I sold 0 of them. I spent like probably $4,000 or $5,000 creating this website and doing all these things, and to realize that nobody had asked me for this. No one wanted this.
Oh, dude, that's brilliant. That's a brilliant thing right there.
It is.
You'd think so. And I'd be like, I should be like, I'm going to figure this out and let's take that lesson. But no, I've done that 3 or 4 times where I do things that no one's fucking asked me for. I've been like, why am I not making any money?
Dude, that's a brilliant approach to that. See, there's another little caveat of learning today. It's like, think about that before you start something. Is this something that people need? Is something that people want? And and is my image a 3-foot phallic symbol? You know?
Yeah. And then another one. Apparently, I've just got like a fixation on naughty logos or something like that, because my next one was called Bod in a Box.
Bod in a box?
Yeah. So it actually came in a bag, but Bod in a Bag sounded like, a little bit of a different, genre of thing. But I had a TRX in there. I had 2 sliders. I had 2 bands. And then I was I was geared up to be like Peloton before Peloton was Peloton.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
I was like, here's your home workout kit.
Okay.
And then I was like, dude, I was like deep into Infusionsoft at the time. So I was writing out my workouts. I filmed all these videos. I filmed 1,000 exercise videos, have them all on YouTube, linked each one of them in my workouts, still a Word document, but linked now with the things.
Yeah.
Spent like countless hours on this, hired tons of people, had all these things going.
Sure.
My logo was a guy flexing, but he was also in a box. So it made him look like he had tiny little legs and they were going behind his head like he was about to suck his own dick. I was so again, I didn't see it until someone was like, why is he like that?
Do you still have all those videos?
Oh yeah. Yeah. So I still use those videos in my current coaching and stuff, because I still am prescribing people to do workouts. That's nice to have my face on it, but
okay.
So like some of the assets.
So Nate Palmer's history is self-gratification and 3-foot phallic symbol for
inadvertent self-gratification.
If you need some help designing a logo, I can tell you a lot of ways to not do it.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it.
Just don't let me at it.
So so now I'm intrigued. That's 2 businesses. What about the other ones?
Well, I'm going to count. I wrote a book called Passport Fitness in there.
Okay.
Now that's another one that was like no one asked me for. It was it was a book about how do you stay fit while traveling a lot.
See, I got that right away though, and I think that's cool because there's so many people, especially now. I know a guy at Orange Theory I met. He's a vice president for the Keg, and we just started bullshitting one day, and we ended up becoming friends and stuff. But he has a goal everywhere he goes because he travels like crazy. He'll post on Facebook every time he hits a new Orange Theory Fitness.
Oh, cool.
Right. So, I mean, he's Canada. What's below us? America. We're North America, right?
Yeah.
I'm terrible.
South
at
America.
So there's stuff in South America, Central America.
They even have the between.
Yeah. So he's I'm terrible.
There's a lot of countries down there.
He admits he's not good at geography.
No. I have a friend who when I did Wake Up Warrior, he came from Canada, and I legit thought that Canada was just over New York. So then we were talking about visiting before COVID hit. True story, dude. And I was like, well, how'd you get down here, Paul? Like, well, I just came through Seattle, eh? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, Seattle? Canada?
There's nothing above Seattle.
Right? So I mean, it sounds so stupid, but it's true. Like, I had no idea Canada covered the whole part of northern United States. I just thought it was Greenland or something because I never really looked at a map and thought, oh. And when I was in school, I was sick so much because of my asthma, so I missed so much school that I obviously missed a great part of geography.
You missed
because
the
I legit,
just sat out that week.
Yeah, I legit swear to God, Nikki. When I told Nikki, she's just like, "You gotta be fucking kidding me!" Like she just looked at me like dumbfounded. She's like, "So when we were going on our last cruise, she knows now just to pull out a map. She's like, okay, this is where we're going." I'm like, "Oh, I didn't.
That's cool, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't know that was there.
Ignorance is bliss, man." I didn't. And Nate has a world map behind him, and I can kind of see America.
It's like a pirate map.
The irony was not lost on me. I just can't get my message across as well as I normally do.
Yeah. Canada,
right?
Central America,
right. So I get that now. See, and then Mike over here is so well read, and he works 12 hours a day. And he does nothing but listen to podcasts and audiobooks and shit. So he's sitting there just gathering all this mad knowledge because his job allows him to do that. So, anything we talk about, he's got like just super smart intelligence and different kinds of levels of understanding of all kinds of things, which is pretty neat.
That's cool. You got to have people like that. I have a very limited knowledge of anything besides this one little subset, which I have a lot of knowledge in.
But that's your life. So you should kind of like real estate. I could talk to you about real estate for 5 hours and not talk about the same thing. Right?
Fair enough.
And I could talk to you about what I feel, how a marriage has to be successful. And I'm 30 years together. And 10 of those, not the full 10 I wasn't drinking, but probably I'd say 4 of those first 10 was the heavy part of my drinking. And then the last 2 of that 10 The first 10 was when I was, I wasn't an asshole drunk. I just wasn't there mentally. I wasn't there emotionally. I did everything. I was, there was no fighting. There was no abuse. None of that. I just, woe is me, self-pity, which goes back to some of my upbringing and life experiences and shit. But it is what it is. I don't point the finger at, oh, that's why. It is what it is. I own up to my shit.
Fair.
So, and that's stuff Mike and I have talked about all the time. So, but yeah, Mike's very well read. I brag on him all the time to Nikki about the stuff that he knows. He's not just a guitar player. He's not just one of those musicians. Hey man, let's go jam on the stage. Like he could hold a conversation with anybody for hours and hold his own, which is cool.
That's cool. I'm still learning how to do that. I'm like, do you work out? They're like, no. I'm like, what do you have a dog? Like, I don't, like, I just like,
yeah.
I was like shut down. I'm like very one-dimensional at parties.
Well,
Going to kids parties, dude.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's the
talking
whole
to these
reason
other
I've had a
dads
lot
who
of
don't
time.
work out. I have nothing to talk about.
Yeah, no, yeah, and that's the weird thing. Like if you're, what drives me a little bit nuts, because I'm all about socializing, man. Like I'm now in the Mesa Rotary Club. I don't know if you saw that or not. And if people don't understand what that is, it is volunteering, giving back to the community on steroids. Like I learned this last week or this week because we did the inaugural, the orientation. 58% of the citizens of the year in Arizona, okay, 58% of them come from the Rotary clubs. How insane is that, right? The Mesa Rotary Club is the reason the post office exists in Mesa, Arizona.
Wow.
It's how it got its start. There's all these little caveats that, like, they made sure that spring training stayed in Arizona because at one point in time it was going to go to Florida, but it's such a big, powerful organization. I'm on the biggest one in Arizona, in Mesa, in Arizona itself, that they stopped that from happening. It's insane what this group has, and the feelers on. So you should come, Nate. I should bring you to a meeting. You can check it out. It's pretty badass. But that's the thing with them. You got name tags, which helps because then you can be like, hey, and then it tells what their field is. So it's like, hey, Nate, you're a fitness guy. Hey, so then that opens up the conversation. That gives you an in right there. Whereas like you said at a birthday party with a bunch of dads, do you work out? Yeah, like this, man. Every time I drink a beer.
Yeah. My new game has been like rather than doing small talk, because I just abhor small talk or talking about the weather. Mm-hmm. If I want to know what Mike's weather is, I'll just look at on Google. It's on the internet. Yeah. I don't need to hear it.
Right.
But I'm trying to I'm going to try to ask questions that find common ground as fast as I possibly can. And so I'm trying to do that by asking like bigger open-ended questions. Mm-hmm. And then when people ask me questions, I try to give them 3 like avenues for response. If they're like, where are you from? I'd be like, well, I live in Tempe normally, but like I'm from Scottsdale and I lived in Seattle for a little bit where I was a trainer out there. How about you? What do you like to do in your neighborhood? And like try to like be like, pick one of these avenues.
Yeah.
Let's find some common ground.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't like when you ask a yes or no question, you're going to get a yes or no answer.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, you play guitar?
Yes.
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 Yes. And then you're done. The conversation's done unless you have a follow-up to that.
Yeah.
What kind of guitar do you play?
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know what the answers could be to this question. I don't know even why I asked it.
Right. So with parties, though, you could be like, how old's your boy? Or how old's your girl? Or how many kids do you have? That's an in right there because then there's a common thread. You both have kids. Right?
Yeah. I guess that's true.
Right?
I guess we could start there. I guess we're already at the same 4-year-old birthday party.
Yeah.
Except for I'm in the bouncy castle and they're not. So I'm like, what do we even have to talk about?
Well, that's true. Well, then you get out of the bouncy castle. See, I did that guy. I got out of camp bouncy castle. I'd look at the other parents like, really? Come on. It's a birthday. Like, how old are you? Let's go. Let's go jump. Let's go jump. Yeah, people get stuck in that box and, but that's COVID, right? That's part of COVID. Oh, don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. Just look at me and wave,
I got more introverted in the last 5 years for sure. I don't know if it was just COVID or if it's just a me thing, but
I think it comes with age, and I think COVID helped. I think COVID for how old are you, Nate?
38.
Yeah, so you're not there yet. I'm 55, and Mike's 51.
3. 2.
Mike's how old are you, Mike? He froze. I want to say he's,
I'll be 52
Mike
in August.
We're going to say 52. Okay, 52 in August. Yeah, so I think, and you've seen that shit, like when you hit a certain age, all of a sudden you have a hard time finding like-minded people, because if you don't have those long-rooted established friendships from earlier in life, they could just kind of go away, you know. Mm-hmm. People die.
And it's also hard. It's also hard to find more time. I feel like one of the reasons you have so many friends when you're growing up is you just have a plethora of time, or people just drop in, you know?
Yeah.
Like I think about college, I lived in a house with 6 dudes, you know, like people were just always in my house.
Yeah.
People that I knew, people I didn't know. I just like meeting people all the time. So you spend a lot of unstructured time together, and that develops these really deep relationships. And now like, I'm in my 30s. We all have kids. It's like, well, can we meet up for 90 minutes in June? And they're like, I think I only have 60 minutes, but yeah. You know, and every single second is accounted for, and everything is just like, there's more going on. Mm-hmm. So your time is a lot more precious, and you don't just have like the drop in effect.
Yeah. So how many kids do you have?
2, 6 and 4.
6 and 4. So you started late in life.
Yep.
See, Nikki and I met 20 and 25, got married 21, 26, and our Skylar's born in 96 and Jake is born in 2001. So so we're like it's weird. Like, the reason I asked that is a lot of Nikki's coworkers are in your same shoes, where they all want to go out and do shit. We're the ones that can go out and do shit because our kids are gone. And I mean, I take care of little man and we have Trip, but they're next door. And they're not my responsibility after the morning. Mm-hmm. So once you get, like when little man, this blows my mind. So little man was born when I was 50, right? So it's like when I'm 70, he's going to be 20. That's a trip. Where you're 38 and you have a 6 and 4-year-old. Mm-hmm. So you're going to be in your 50s when they're adults for the most part, right? Yeah. So I have that. My kids, yeah. Jake turns 24 in 4 days, which is cool.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So start with kids, man. How many kids you got? Because that's an instant in, and that's an instant common thread. And then you can be like, what's your boy into? This, you know.
Sometimes I just go right to like the heart of things. I'm like, are aliens real?
Oh, you're.
That's my kind of conversation.
You ever seen a ghost? Like, I want to go. Let's get weird.
See, now we're talking. That too. That's a better approach too, because we have a ghost.
Just one?
We do have one ghost. Yeah. Now we're talking. Yeah, we have a ghost. Jake didn't believe it, and he was in the guest bathroom when he was home on leave one time, and the shower curtain was open. He's standing at the sink. Okay. And the body wash flew from the inside the shower and hit him. So he's like, "Oh fuck!" Nikki was in the master bedroom. We have this armoire thing. She was on her side, which is over here. There's this big comfy chair over in the corner. The pillow hit her from the chair. I'm talking, it's like a 3-foot distance thing.
So your ghost is room agnostic. It doesn't belong to one specific room. It's just kind of a house ghost.
It kind of, because we know where it kind of centralizes itself, because the dog every now and then will just.
Dog sees it, yeah.
Just stand at attention and look at this corner and just stare. We felt it. Mike has had this same experience. We felt it get in bed with us, where the bed kind of sinks, and you can feel the movement in the bed, and it's just. Like if I'm in bed and all of a sudden you feel it getting in bed, you know, or Nikki will go to bed first, legit, dude. And then she'll think I came to bed, and I'm like, I didn't come to bed for like 10:30, babe. So it's a little freaky. You see.
Have you thought about moving? I know a good real estate agent.
Right. we moved here purposely, Nate, so we could. The short version of the long story, Skylar got pregnant, and it's like we had to help her be successful. So we completely uprooted and changed our lives, and then we moved to Riggs and Ellsworth, and then it moved where we're at now because we could actually build on. So we actually added on to our house to where we have a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, great room, 2-car garage, 1,200 square feet, just on the west side of our home, purposely. Which is why I have little man every morning. I go get him at 6:30. I walk over there, pick him up, knock on the door, pick him up. Give Trip a hug and a kiss on the head, take little man back here. We hang out till 8 o'clock when I take him to school.
That's
and
awesome.
It's been that way since he was 3 weeks old, with the exception of, you know, when I was sick or something, if they went on vacation or something. But for the most part, Monday through Friday, since he was 3 weeks old, I've been a staple part of his life, because we didn't know we didn't know she was going to meet Michael, her new husband, and have another child and just make a complete, turnaround on her life and be heading up in the positive world. She was an addict for years, heroin, meth, all that kind of shit. So when she got pregnant with little man, I was like, I'm not helping you raise an addicted child. Like you stop or I'm out. I'm done. We're not helping you. And she, to her credit, man, fucking stopped on a dime.
Wow.
He saved her life. It's like
That's
straight
powerful.
up. So it's amazing, and I talk about it, and it sucks because I give it voice, and Nikki's like, "You're gonna give it voice, and then shit's gonna hit the fan." But she's awesome. She's a wonderful human where she's at. It's like sometimes we like, what the fuck is that, Skylar? And she talks about praying, like, who are you? Who are you? Like, she searches all these deals and shit. Like she'll find the deal. She knows how to work the system to get stuff. When it was just her and little man, she like went into all that stuff, and she found a program that was actually paying her childcare while she got a scholarship to go to college. So they were covering little
That's
man's
cool.
date, right? Just cool stuff like that, man. She's an amazing human for sure. I'm not allowed to say that out loud though, because then it jinxes it, and then all of a sudden chaos. But she's super, super cool. So here comes Mike again, maybe. So let's reinforce everybody that is joining us, because we're over an hour now, and I just want to make sure we hit your stuff again. So you can find Nate Palmer on Instagram, _$1,000,000body. He has a massive background in fitness and nutrition and coaching and as a trainer. So if you're looking to completely weaponize your life and body and change your day-to-day mindset, your energy levels, things like that, Nate is somebody truly you should talk to and see if you're a fit. I've known him for about a year now. I've been following him on Instagram stuff. The stuff that he shares it's not bullshit. It's real world stuff that he has applied to his own self. And when you see that, it gives it validity, and he's living proof of if you live the way he lives, you can look the way he looks to a certain extent, right? Because everybody's makeup and DNA stuff is different, right?
I just can't guarantee this level of great beard.
Right.
This is genetics. Like
Yeah.
if you work out all the time, maybe, but I don't want to overpromise, underdeliver with the beard.
Right. Well, it's kind of the thing. Like, not everybody's going to have the body that gives them a six pack, because you just don't have that in your DNA. Some people do, some people don't. Right.
Yeah. And if you and I did the exact same workout and ate the exact same way, we would not look the same.
No, agreed, 100%. The other cool thing I want to touch on before we kind of wrap this up is some of the stuff you've talked about is fasting. Like, I've never been a big into fasting. Now, when I did Isogenics, which you talked about earlier, I did their cleanse. We do their 30-day cleanse. We would do their fasting thing. I think the longest we went was 47 hours or something.
Wow. Cool.
And I saw dramatic results because I was resetting my body, because I went from this unhealthy human that, years and years of drinking and shit like that, to got neck surgery, got released, found Isogenics. Let's go. Let's cleanse. I'll send you a picture of before and after. You'll be like, what? I actually had people laugh at Fat Chris. Like this one guy I knew who was a total douche. When he saw it, he laughed his ass off and like poking fun at me. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, wow, you're just a fucking asshole, Josh. His name was Josh.
Classic Josh.
I don't work with him anymore because it was like, dude, you're just a dick. Like, okay. But so talk about water fasting and talk about the intermittent fasting, because that's always intrigued me, but I don't, and this is me getting in my own way, I don't think I have excuses of why that won't work for me, which a lot of people do, right? So you can talk about whichever one you want to talk about first, but I want to touch on the water stuff you've done, and then the intermittent fasting, because you swear by it from what I see online.
Yeah, it's a great method, and I like it for a couple different reasons.
Okay.
Intermittent fasting is fine. I did that for 2 years, never missed a day. But what I learned from intermittent fasting is two things. Number one is when that first meal of the day is lunch, you tend to overeat at lunch and you tend to be tired in the afternoon. So if you have a big heavy carb meal, or you're like, oh my God, I'm so hungry, you eat a lot, and then the rest of the afternoon feels like you're just drowning.
Okay.
So we don't like that. We want to have more energy, right? That's a big focus for most of my clients who are entrepreneurs, parents, that busy, they want to get stuff done in the afternoon. They don't want to cram 60 minutes of work into 3 hours. So I don't recommend intermittent fasting for that reason. Okay. Plus a 24-hour fast is worth about 3.5 intermittent fasts in terms of the autophagy you get, which is that cellular cleansing and detoxification that your body naturally does. By the way, you don't need any crazy pills, powders, or potions to detox, your body has these things called kidneys, which will actually do it for you. It's the most amazing thing. If you just feed it water, it's great. But fasting's awesome because I think there's a couple things. Going back to what we talked about earlier with the delayed gratification and like kind of looking for like the dopamine hit. Fasting is a great way to reset yourself, to determine what is your level of relationship with food. Are you finding yourself trending towards that when you're bored, stressed, or tired, BTS? And if so, like what emotions do you have to deal with in order to get past that? So that's a great like mental reset. Secondly, it's a great physical reset. Fasting will shrink your stomach. And most of our hunger cues are based off of volume. So that's why you can drink 1,000 calories of oil and not be full, but try eating a head of cabbage. Like that's horrible. I tried it once. Don't
really
would not recommend.
Why did you try eating a head of cabbage, man?
Someone told me I tried all the things.
So kind of like how I wanted to put up 145 pounds 100 times. You're like, hey, fuck it, I'm gonna head of cabbage.
Yeah, someone dared me to drink a gallon of milk once. Did that. Threw up in Albertsons.
Okay.
It's fine. We're fine. It's fine. Don't go to Albertsons. Threw up there. But like, so your stomach actually shrinks back to its natural size. So it's basically like you hit a factory reset button on your body.
Okay.
Plus your body is going through this process called autophagy that I mentioned earlier, where it's pulling out broken down cells or damaged cells and repairing them and rebuilding them. So you go through this process where your body is like giving you all like brand new healthy cells and helping you recover. So if you're sick, if you're hurt, fasting is a great option. It also obviously cuts out 2 days worth of calories. You know, if you do a 48-hour fast.
So when you fast for 48 hours.
Depends. Personally, I'm not trying to lose weight right now. So I do a once a month, 24-hour fast.
Okay. So let's talk about that. Because Nikki and I have talked about doing this, but I'm in my own way because I can't do that shit, even though I did it with isogenics, but that was long ago. So we want to do a 24-hour fast. What's the thing we do on day one?
Oh man. All right. So I'll give you the protocol.
Yes. Protocol it up because this is good for our listeners.
So let's say we're going to fast from Tuesday night to Wednesday night. Cause I always like to do it like from dinner to dinner. So you eat dinner at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, then you eat dinner at 6:30 on Wednesday.
Okay.
That way you're not going 2 days without food.
I like that idea. Okay.
Super easy.
So dinner to dinner. Got it.
Yeah.
Simple.
Start there. Super simple. But so like on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, what I want you to do is wake up in the morning and have this drink that I call foot water.
Okay.
And I call it that because it tastes like a foot. I was really selling this here, but it's water, just a glass of water with a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar and a tablespoon of lemon juice.
Okay.
Fresh, squeezed, doesn't matter. Who cares? But that's geared towards increasing your body's ability to break down nutrients. And increasing your body's insulin sensitivity, so reducing the amount of like big blood sugar spikes you get leading up to it. The practical application is that you're not going to feel quite as hungry or any cravings during your fast. So do that Sunday, Monday, and then Tuesday, and then Wednesday. And then if you really want to get crazy, I recommend starting your fast and ending your fast with the same thing, which I call the healing salad. It is cucumbers, lettuce, red onions, avocado, lemon juice, and then maybe a little bit like tahini if you want to. Might have one other thing in there, I forget. But it's something that my wife and I discovered while we were traveling through. What's it called between the North America and the bottom part?
Central America.
Yeah, that's right. That's when we were traveling through there. We'd just get sick of eating street meat and cheap beers and be like, my stomach needs a break. So we would go to the market and get whatever they had. And every place had these 3 or 4 ingredients. And what we found is that the vitamins and minerals within the salad are great because they fill in a lot of nutritional deficiencies and gaps that we have. So you don't get cravings because you're missing vitamin A. So it's nice in that regard. So I like starting and ending that because when you're ending your fast, your body is just ready for nutrients and nutrition. So give it some really healthy, high-powered nutrition from a shake, from a salad, some good quality protein, and you're going to feel amazing. During your fast, drink water, black coffee, tea, electrolytes, and then I created a amino drink called Fast Aid. It is with a type of like a branched chain amino acids that are not going to spike your blood sugar, your insulin levels, so you can maintain your fast while you take it. I like that pre-workout. So if I'm going to go for a walk, do any cardio, do a workout while I'm fasting, always take that because you don't want to burn through muscle to repair your other muscle that you're working out.
So does it matter how much of the water and the coffee and no, it's just black coffee, the water, black coffee, and the tea and the electrolytes you drink during that 24-hour period, or is it just?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Go ham.
So I have my salad you talk about Tuesday night, right? And then I do that at what time? Because you've talked about eating.
Let's just say 6 p.m.
Okay, so 6 o'clock. So then when I'm done with that salad at 6:30, because I'm going to take my time and chew every single thing, piece by piece, little piece of salad.
Yeah, I'll probably get some chicken in there. Don't just do the salad. Also,
Okay.
I'll make a meal out of it.
Okay, cool.
Then,
so then from then on, obviously not that night I'm not drinking coffee or tea, but I can drink as much water and electrolytes as I want prior to bedtime.
And and I think the sparkling water is money here. It just helps you stay a little bit more full, feels a little better on the mouth.
And sparkling water is the fizzy stuff, right? You open up, right? Yeah. Okay. So then you wake up the next morning, and that's where you can start your day with coffee.
Yep.
Now I personally wake up every day and I drink water. I drink 1 of these of water. It's the first thing I do.
That's the best thing you can do. Always water before coffee.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of people who say that you shouldn't be drinking coffee within the first 60 minutes of waking up anyways because your cortisol levels are currently spiking.
Cortisol. That's what I was talking about. That's what I was trying to find earlier. That's the squirrel moment when I talked about the weight training before running.
Oh, okay. No, different.
That was that word that I couldn't find.
Cortisol is just a stress hormone. People call it a belly fat hormone, but it also wakes you up. So cortisol spikes to help you get up.
Okay.
So you have that going to wake you up, and then like about an hour, it starts dropping off after you wake up.
Okay.
That's a great time to have coffee because you kind of like go off the top of that cortisol spike.
Okay.
Rather than going up at the same time with the cortisol.
So salad at 6 at night on Tuesday night, and then you can have as much water, electrolytes as you want before bedtime. Although you probably shouldn't drink water an hour before bedtime, just for
But
reasons.
a water and electrolytes before bedtime is also a life hack to keep you from peeing. If you're a middle of the night pee type of person.
Okay, cool.
Anything you drink after bedtime, have some electrolytes or some pink Himalayan sea salt in it.
So then in the morning you get up, you drink water first, and you wait an hour. So we get up at about 5, we go for a walk, and by the time we get home from the walk in the morning and home from the walk, you know what I mean? Yeah. I don't usually have coffee till about 6:15ish. So I'm hitting that. I'm hitting that without realizing I'm hitting that.
You're a genius.
So then, I'm only a genius because I like watch and learn people. So I have my coffee, and then it's just basically the rest of the day is water and or electrolytes. There's nothing else I do until dinner time, and then I have that repeat salad I had the day before. Now here's something that I've never wrapped my head around. Can I work out when I'm fasting?
Yes, if you're doing a 24-hour fast, for sure.
Okay.
Like don't stress about it. That's not even that long.
Okay.
If you're doing a 72-hour fast, then we'll have a different conversation.
Okay.
And if on a 48-hour fast, I will work out and do weights day 1.
Okay.
And I'll do cardio day 2.
Okay.
Cardio on a second day of a fast when you've been drinking coffee all day is a spiritual experience.
Really?
It's insane. Yeah, you wake up on day 2. So let's say you fast on Tuesday night.
Okay.
And then you wake up on Wednesday and you don't do anything. You don't eat Wednesday at all.
Right.
And then you wake up and it's Thursday morning. Your body's completely empty.
Okay.
You look in the mirror and you're like, wow, I'm a lot skinnier than I was earlier. I can see some of my my muscles here. You're feeling really good.
Yeah.
You go have that sip of coffee and all of a sudden you can hear colors. Yeah, it's like you're like your mind is like, let's go, let's do stuff. You feel like you're just euphoric almost. You feel like you're on drugs. It's crazy. I love it.
Nature's LSD.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you go get on the treadmill and you do my favorite form of cardio, which is 30-15-3.
Okay.
And you just it's 30 minutes on a 15 incline treadmill at a 3 speed.
Okay.
It's great. Just an easy long burn.
Let's slow that down. 30-15-3. So 30 minutes on a treadmill at 15% incline.
Yep.
At 3 miles an hour.
Yep.
Okay.
Build up to that if you've never done it before. Don't start with that.
Yeah, Orange Theory had a Mount Everest thing where we would climb up all the way to 15% and then come all the way back down.
Okay.
So
cool.
same kind of concept, but I like that. So just to reinforce, boys and girls, 30 minutes on the treadmill at a 15% incline at 3 miles an hour.
And you get off and you've been fasting and you're tired and you're just sweat through your clothes.
Yeah.
And you look in the mirror and you go, do I have abs right now? It's crazy. And then you're like, what should I invent with all of this brain power I'm working with?
Right.
It's something you can't really describe until someone goes through it.
Is that more the 48 one or the 24 one?
The 48, you start really getting into your own brain.
Okay, so the 48 one is where you're going to wake up that next day, shed your clothes, go to 30-15-3, and realize, holy shit, I look like a 15-year-old again. What the fuck just happened?
I just dropped a podcast episode, March 17th. It's episode 287 of the Get Leaner and Live Longer podcast, formerly known as the Low Carb Hustle.
Okay, so that's the name of the podcast is Get Leaner and what?
Get Leaner and Live Longer with Nate Palmer.
Okay, cool.
And so episode 287 was Fasting for Mental Domination. It's the cheat code for focus, willpower, and peak performance. So if you want to check it out, outside of the physical benefits and the fat loss benefits, I talked really exclusively about the mental side and how Jack Dorsey used to use that. George St. Pierre used to use fasting. Okay. Some of these real badass, savage dudes.
So what I want you to do when we're all said and done today, I'll send you my email and I want you to send me links to these things.
Okay.
Because then we're going to put it on our Facebook page and then our Instagram page. And then when Mike creates the shorts and stuff for the show and the main one that we drop on YouTube, then he's going to have those links in there. So anytime anybody listens to your show with us, they can scroll down and click that link and go right to your podcast, go right to you. Now, do you have a website for your personal coaching / training stuff?
I have so many goddamn websites, Chris.
Good. Well, I went to one. Dude, believe it or not, I used to have a website for every single neighborhood and or city in Arizona.
That's cool.
I'm working on something right now, and I went to GoDaddy. I'm like 158 domain names.
That's pretty good. I'm not even at 100 yet. So
they're not all active now, but it's just shows you. So, but I want you to send me the top 3 that you think people should know, and I want your podcast information, and then obviously your social media links, because we want to help get you out into the forefront. Now,
and I'll send a link to the fast aid, and I'll send a link to the 30-15-3 breakdown.
Cool. So let's talk a little bit, and then we're going to wrap this puppy up. Let's talk a little about what you do. Like, I call you up, say, okay, Nate, I want to change my life. I need a life coach. I need to get in better shape. I need to get in a better mindset. What does that look like as far as my time commitment, how you hold me accountable, and the cost associated with it?
So again, I have a couple different ways of working together. One is called the $1 Million Body Mastermind, which is more of a month to month, where we're checking in on a monthly basis, making sure that you're someone who's already very accountable, you are going to work out. All you need is kind of a little bit of that expertise and a roadmap.
Yeah.
Great plan. And that's somewhere between $250 and $400, depending on if you want me to provide all your supplements for you and stuff.
Okay. So you can provide the supplements if you wanted.
Yep. So $1 Million Body Labs is my company right now. So we do a whey protein. We do the fast 8 aminos. I have something called Deep Mind, which is a stim-free nootropic for like mental cognition, energy focus. And then Complete Restore is kind of the opposite side of that. It's recovery, repair, rebuild.
Okay.
And then I just released magnesium glycinate, vitamin D3, and a stim-free pre-workout as well. So
cool.
All stuff that I want to use. Okay. And then, if you want to use it too, that's great. But I built it for myself.
Okay. Awesome.
And then my flagship program is called the $1 Million Body Method. It's 6 months or 7 months usually. It's a bit higher ticket, but it's something where we're going to get on a phone call or a video call once a week. Okay. So we're going to talk through all the pieces, all the stress, the lifestyle, and the environment, the habits. Okay. We're going to build healthy habits. We're going to look at what is your big domino, whether it's drinking a gallon of water per day, getting 10,000 steps, getting to bed at 9:30. Like, what is the one piece that you're currently missing that is going to help you elevate your game and help you increase your motivation, energy, focus? Okay. We'll talk about nutrition. Obviously, that's a big part of it. We'll talk about training. Usually I recommend people train at least 2 times per week, with like 4 times per week kind of on the high end. Okay. But I have people kind of all across the spectrum, including people who don't work out and just want to walk, and they still get results. Okay. And then some people like to lean a little bit more on the fasting side of things. We'll do more of that. Some people like to track their macros, and we do a little bit more of that. So we can kind of mix and match. I tend to not throw 100% of everything at people right off the bat. I want to make sure we can kind of like juice what we got.
Right. You don't want to overwhelm. Right. You don't want to overwhelm them, because then if you overwhelm them, then they're going to go at it too hard. Then all of a sudden they're going to burn out in a week. Like, what the fuck am I doing? I don't like you, Nate. Yeah. And I see that. I saw all the time in Orange Theory. Like I said, first of the year, boom, studio's packed. Mid-February, it's back to 70% of occupancy, because everybody burns out. They go too hard.
But one of the things that I want people to impart on people as they go through the program is, like, by the end of it, I want them to have a good idea of what a framework looks like for healthy eating. Cool. So not like a meal plan, and not like I need to eat 40 grams of carbs, but like, what does a good breakfast look like that is going to give me energy and help my body burn fat? Yeah. Usually for me, that's a protein and a fat. Okay. Then what's a good lunch going to look like that's going to keep me energized through the afternoon, not cause me to crash, but also give me the flexibility to have a piece of cake at dinner or have a glass of wine.
I've seen some of your stuff going drive-thrus. I'm like, what the fuck? He's going to Taco Bell?
Yeah.
I'm going to Taco Bell and look like that.
I need to do a McDonald's one.
Right. That's nuts.
But also, we're all real people. It's cool to be like, well, don't have Taco Bell. Instead, go have a kale smoothie. But like, what happens when you end up at Taco Bell drive-thru at 2 a.m. and you're like, at least you have a tool now.
Yeah. So that's what's cool.
And then I also want people to understand how to train in a way that gets them results, because most people go through life training the exact same way they trained when they were 22. Right. And they look the exact same year after year, even if they're consistent. Guys go in and bench press 3 sets of 10 with 135. And they're like, well, I don't know why my chest isn't growing. So I want to teach people how to train in a way that even after they finish working with me, they can go into any gym, pick out several exercises in a row and get results with those exercises because they know the frameworks and the principles.
Yeah.
Because like tactics change, right?
Sure.
Workouts change, nutrition changes, your body changes. But if you know the principles and the frameworks, you can apply any variety of tactics to those while still seeing progress. And that's what I want to help people understand is systems and frameworks.
Yeah. And I love that because that was the one kick with Orange Theory, right? Orange Theory, you're not designed to bulk up. It's designed to keep you lean and fit because they want to get to the orange zone where you're burning. You have at least 12 minutes of the orange zone, so or red zone, right? And then you're keeping your metabolism going for the next 24 hours. So and I felt it, and I the consistency as a motherfucker. Orange Theory, if you do it and you're dedicated to it, it will. But you plateau. My last 2 years there, I couldn't get in the orange zone. Like no matter how hard I pushed myself, no how much I was going inclines. Shit you not, Nate. I was doing 6% inclines at maybe 6 miles an hour just as a warm up, trying to get my heart elevated, right? And it wasn't. I just reached a plateau. We called it that I outshaped Orange Theory. Because I was just in such great cardio shape from the other stuff I was doing.
Cardio is funny because it's like the more efficient you get at it, the worse it is for cardio.
Really?
So if you're a good runner, running's not good cardio anymore.
Oh, that's a good point, man.
Yeah. You know the most efficient, like the best cardio you could do? Slap on a pair of roller skates and go for a run on the beach. Go for a little beach jog.
With roller skates?
Yeah, just in the sand.
Okay.
Right? Please don't do that. That sounds horrible. But do you understand what I'm saying? Like, what's the hardest, least efficient thing you can do? Because like for me right now, if I went swimming, I'd be gassed after like a down and back.
I would too, because I don't swim. I mean, I know how to swim, but it's not my thing. It's not my.
But you give me 4 months of swimming. Now that is no longer going to be a good form of cardio for me because I'm going to be very efficient at it.
If there was a light bulb, nobody's ever told me that. That's insane. So even though, wow. So that's where you start doing other forms of cardio, not just running.
Yep.
That's where the rowing comes into play and the biking comes into play, or hauling, 10 loads of dirt in a wheelbarrow back and forth for
100%.
90 minutes. Dude, fuck, you're smart, Nate. This, like...
Don't build my ego up. I don't need it.
No, but
it's already too big.
But legit, though, dude. So my son's a Marine, so he had sent me this thing, his second year in, that he did a 6-minute mile. I'm like, I'm coming after you, son. He's like, okay, old man. So at the time, my mile was 7:40, okay? So when I was 53 with a stress fracture and my second metatarsal, I did a mile at 5:55.
That's amazing.
And then I went to the next Orange Theory because I was doing back-to-back still, and I did that one at 5:55. So in the span of an hour, I ran 2 back-to-back miles in 5 minutes, 55 seconds, which I was like, how the fuck is that possible? Because I made the second one, I made sure I ran faster, but the treadmills are treadmills. My fastest one outside was 6:12, and that was during a race, not I'm going to run a mile, right? But at 53 years old, now understand, I had asthma so bad that we moved to Arizona or I was going to be dead by the time I was 3. I lived in hospitals. All my childhood nightmares are wrapped around hospitals because from the time we got to Arizona to about 11, 12, I constantly had asthma attacks. I was constantly going to the hospital to not die. So when I finally outgrew it, I couldn't do long distance running because I couldn't catch my breath and couldn't know how to do it. So in high school, my track coach, he's like, well, let's have you do the sprint workouts and you'll do the 800. Like, you're fucking stupid. It worked. I could do the 800, and my best 800 was 2 minutes 8 seconds. I mean, as a high school
speedy
junior, right, with no issues with my breathing, which is insane. So when Nick and I started this long distance running shit, we just baby stepped it, a mile, then 2 miles, and 3 miles, and 5, then 6. But holy shit, dude, that's amazing. I never thought of it that way. That the longer you do it, then it's not gonna make a difference because you're just doing it.
Yeah, and you're good at it. Your body's efficient, and it's like, and your body's like, all right, I get it. How do we keep you alive while we do this?
That's unbelievable, man.
Yeah,
that's unbelievable. All right,
but I feel like that's like one of the key principles is like your body is on your side to keep you alive. Like let me wrap with this. Okay, think about this.
Yeah, okay.
Like, you know the difference between an open chain and a closed chain exercise?
No.
Open chain is like weights out here, doing a dumbbell curl, a tricep press down, something like that. Closed chain is moving your body through space. A squat, a pull up, a row, a push up.
So body weight versus weights.
Yeah, I mean you can throw load on your squat or your push up, right? But like you're moving your body through space. And the difference is that when your body is moving through space, your body does not know you're not being chased by a saber-toothed tiger. You're doing a pull up. It's like, do we need to get into a tree to not die? So the amount of muscle fibers you're going to be activating during a closed chain exercise is larger than the open chain exercise. And it is going to mobilize a larger portion of your fat stores in order to drop non-functional mass that is going to keep you from getting in that tree. And it is going to ramp up your production of testosterone, human growth hormone, and IGF-1 to help you build muscle because it's going to help keep you alive. So if you know these things and you know how your body functions, then you can start fitting in the fasts, the correct exercise, the way your nutrition works. Like the way because we're not supposed to be eating carbs all day long. You know, our body is going to spike when we have those carbs. So if we have proteins and fats in the morning, we have this stable blood sugar, and our body's more able to pull from fat because it's always going to preferentially use the food you just ate for energy. So you have to give it a reason not to do that, right? So if you've been eating bread all the time, you're only going to be burning bread. If you have like proteins and fats in the morning, your body will reach into fat stores to mobilize some of that to give you energy as well. So if you understand the principles and how your body works, you can start using it to your advantage rather than what most people do, which is banging their head against a wall, trying to hack their body or diet down. And that's why it doesn't stick, because they don't understand the principles and the frameworks. So I feel like when you start learning, like, okay, this is how this works and this is how my body works in this capacity, it just becomes this like, okay, I can do this. It's not a big deal. You got to work with it instead of against it.
So by running as much as I was running, and for the amount of time I spent running, basically from 2015 to now, my body got so accustomed to running, it wasn't doing anything as far as building cardio. It's just like, oh, Chris is going to go run now.
Yeah, it's like mental health. It's movement.
It's like the body just wakes up and knows, oh, Chris is going to run 10 miles a day. And
if you went out and ran 10 miles and I went out and ran 10 miles with you, you'd burn half the calories I would. I'd be working so much harder than you.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Cool. Nate Palmer, ladies and gentlemen. Like, just, where's my clapping? There it is. Come on.
I had it for a second.
There you go. Like this has been a great conversation, dude. It sucks that Mike couldn't be on here consistently. So Instagram is _$1 million body. Right?
Yep.
Okay. And then drop your website again.
Say it one more time.
No, let's not. Okay. Instagram is _$1 million body. What's your podcast?
Get Leaner and Live Longer.
Get Leaner, Live Longer. And that's on Spotify, Apple.
All the places.
All the things, YouTube's. Okay, cool. I learned so much from you today. It's fantastic. So thank you for coming on. Mike, wherever you are, you'll get
He's with us in spirit.
You'll get to watch the show as you put it together. So, Mike and I always wrap up the show with this because we're both recovering addicts and we've been in those stages of life where it's like, woe is me. Suicide, depression, et cetera, et cetera. So we always remind people, don't let the bad days win. Whatever you're dealing with today, reach out to somebody. Somebody loves you. Somebody's going to miss you if you're gone, so don't do that. Reach out for help. Somebody's always there to talk to you and love you. Somebody will miss you, so be mindful of that. That being said, everybody have a great day. Thank you very much for coming and checking us out. Nate, thank you so much, dude. This was so enlightening. I learned so much, dude, and I'm so glad we got you on here with your crazy schedule. We're going to continue this conversation off air because I definitely want to dive in a little bit more with Nikki and stuff. So we'll schedule something so we can all talk about that with her, maybe take you to lunch or something over the weekend. So that being said, boys and girls, until next week, see you. That was awesome, dude.
Take a moment. fight the battle, but you must win. Listen, baby, to your fear. Yeah. Listen to your fear. Now you're turning, come down in. You haven't found solid to your sand. You keep on fighting, wait for the day when you close your eyes and it fades away. You ain't no preacher, but a praying man. You took your breath on the Almighty's hand. You got a dream, who in your life to keep on soaring every night. Take the trip behind your eyes. Feel the soul revolution night. Yeah, 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 yeah. Take a moment.